The Justin Robert Young Show is brought to you, as always, by patreon.com/JuRY. Go ahead and support the show by kicking a few dollars on over there. Hey, look, if you support this Patreon at any level, $1, $2, $3, few things happen. Number one, somebody had the confusion. You do 1 million podcasts. You do the JuRY show. You do the live streams. You do the politics show. If you subscribe at $3, you get bonus politics shows on Monday and Friday. You do the Friday hype train. It just says per podcast on your Patreon. Patreon.com/JuRY. So if you're doing 1 million podcasts a week, am I going to get charged 1 million times? The answer is no. You get charged weekly. Once a week, that's it. You pay for this podcast, the Justin Robert Young podcast that records on Thursday afternoons. Other than that, it's all on the house, baby. Go ahead and support the show. Man, you're going to get the Friday hype train. There's a lot of shit on there, man. I think it's a really good value for your dollar. Why don't you be a friend? Patreon.com/JuRY. But enough of talking about how we support the show. Huh? What do you say? We just do the damn thing.
Ugly ain't the half, look at you. Well, you got blue teeth and you only got 2 teeth, but I kinda like to see you smile. And it appears that over the years you've turned into a big old steaming pile. And she said, yeah, I know I ain't no supermodel. I said, you ain't a hand model, baby, but that's fine. You're pretty ugly by most people's standards, but you're all right by mine.
Oh, Jimmy 2 times has drank a couple Dales for me, which means that it is time for us to go ahead and get started here on the show. Hello. My name is Justin Robert Young, and this is the Justin Robert Young Show. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get a little into this live show coming up March 1st. Politics, the sex scandal brackets. It is almost sold out. Last week, I think I'd mentioned that we were possibly going to move to a larger theater. I don't think that we are going to do that now, just because it's a big risk. So we're not moving to a smaller venue. We are just going to stay in the exact same venue. But that does mean that now there are 6 tickets available. That's it. And there ain't no more room in the theater. So if you want to go see it, then now's the time to do it. I will almost guarantee that look, anything can happen. We could still move up to the other room. I'm just saying, if you definitely want to go see this show, you need to get a ticket now. bit.ly/sfsexshow. Still can't believe I got that bit.ly. bit.ly/sfsexshow. That is where we break down the 16 craziest sex scandals in American political history. If you don't like politics, don't worry. Don't worry. Because there ain't really going to be a lot about the issues here. It's going to be a lot about public people in places of high moral standing making decisions that they will never live down because I'm going to remind them of it on March 1st in the Piano Fight Theater. So go ahead and get your tickets right now. Again, 6 remaining. Ain't no jive on this. Ain't no artificial scarcity. This is it. 6 more tickets. That's all. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the show. I had an amazing night on Thursday. That's because Thursday was Black Panther Night. Now notice I called it Black Panther Night and not the premiere of the Marvel Studios film Black Panther as directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Chadwick Boseman. Because this deserves an honorarium that describes a celebration. And that is indeed what it was. In fact, I was so thrilled with the event by the end of the night that I only had one misgiving. And that it was that I crossed the bay to go to San Francisco instead of staying in Oakland. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm gonna answer something here in the Twitch chat. Faith in Science says they turned the movie into a political statement, which it should not have been. I mean, I think that it's kind of hard to separate the character Black Panther from its political origins, or at least the things that have become bound to it over the intervening several decades since it was created. I think the most interesting elements of Black Panther do involve some kind of political commentary. What I found fascinating, though, and I continue to find fascinating, and you can read my writing on this more in my political newsletter for the fans of politics. I write 5 days a week. Go ahead, sign up for free, tinyletter.com/JustinRobertYoung. What I found the most fascinating is that it's a political statement that a lot of people read what they want into it. Specifically, the idea that there is a meme, not a meme, an idea. Well, I guess an idea is a meme. Moving on. I've seen several conservative outlets, rambunctious, boisterous conservative outlets that love Black Panther because they believe it espouses their belief system. I don't want to go into some of the spoilers of the movie itself, but you can debate how they are processing it, but to a certain extent, there's no denying that some of these broader cultural questions are at the heart of this story. Now, what I find fascinating about this is that it's a movie that, by being the most politically pointed, is oddly enough the most understood and enjoyed. So I don't want to go into it. I did just want to respond to that because it's odd to me. I did not expect it, at the very least. And I read a lot of different branches of political thought, so I can do the best job for you to synthesize this kind of stuff. And I was not expecting to be reading what Wakanda says about Donald Trump's America articles being written unironically. But let's get back to the fun stuff. So Thursday night, here's what normally happens. We're going to bring you guys into our world, the world of me and my wife. So what we like to do is go to see movies as they debut at the Alamo Drafthouse in the Mission neighborhood of San Francisco. Here's the problem. If the movie's really popular, which Black Panther was, very often what happens is we wind up having to get tickets for the late show. 2 shows a night for premiere nights on Thursdays. 7 o'clock show, 10 o'clock show. Now, I know that at some point we're going to invent time travel, and I'm going to be able to bring on different versions of myself so I can have a panel of only me's talking about various things. And at some point, I'm going to have a conversation like I'm about to have with you all right now, wherein I say, oh my God, I had to see the 10 o'clock version of a Thursday movie. And a younger version of me, anywhere between the ages of 18 and 25, will scoff. They will say, hey, dickhead, back in my day, you couldn't go to a 7 o'clock show. You couldn't go to a 10 o'clock show on Thursday. No. They had these things called midnight shows. And midnight shows were technically there so you could see the movie on Friday, but you would really be going out Thursday night. And I'll be resigned to the young whippersnapper version of me. And I will say, listen, my friend, you have a restless heart and an undying flame of excitement and enthusiasm. And I want it to burn as bright as it can. But allow me to tell you this, young man, that's a pun on your name. One day that flame, without you realizing it, will burn just a little less bright. And one day it will burn a little less bright. And while you will remain someone that many around you will say is an excitable young gent, you will find that staying up until midnight to watch a movie is no longer in the cards. And so, I bitch about going to see the 10 o'clock movie. Now, let me add in another element of this. The restaurant that we like to go to when we go see these movies is very popular. It opens at 5 o'clock, at which point it almost immediately fills up and goes to an hour wait. They do not accept reservations. There is almost always a line as soon as the door opens. It's in the Mission. So you got to go there at 5 if you want to eat immediately. Yes, I am the Void King in the Twitch chat. Very accurately points out that the show I will eventually do with a different panel of my former and future selves will be called a jury of juries. Opens at 5 o'clock. You got to go there at 5 o'clock if you want to eat immediately. So Ashley will get off work maybe a little bit early, head on down. We go to the restaurant. We eat at 5 o'clock. This is fine if we are going to see a 7 o'clock movie. Eat at 5, get out at 6, walk on down to the theater, catch a little drinkaroo in the bar. By the time that you got that in your hand, you're ready to walk into the Draft House Theater. You're watching yourselves a few previews. You get another drinkaroo. You're having a great time at the movies. And then you fuck right on back off across the bay. 10 o'clock movie's different. A lot more time to kill. You get right into the restaurant at 5, you eat at 5, you're done at 6, maybe 6:30, and now the run is on. You got to make sure that you're making it to 10 o'clock. But, once you've had a drink, now you have another drink, and you have another drink, and you go walking, and all of a sudden, you realize that you have turned this son of a bitch into a goddamn bar crawl. So we go from the restaurant down the street to a wine bar. Have a glass of wine at the wine bar. Go from the wine bar to a dive bar. Have a couple drinks at the dive bar. Go from the dive bar to the movie theater that has a bar. Grab a drink. Play a game of pinball. Now, this has put me in a situation where I am very comfortable. All right? I'm riding a line. Anybody who's done a bit of drinking in their day knows exactly where I'm headed. All right? Like, I am in the frequency. I'm pitch perfect where I need to be in terms of my inebriation. I'm excited. I'm ready to see this movie. The only problem is I was not walking into a movie, ladies and gentlemen. I was walking into a party. It is the difference of like pre-gaming before you go to Thanksgiving to make it tolerable, and pre-gaming and then walking into a wild party. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this was not, as I mentioned before, Black Panther premiere night. This was Black Panther Night. Holy shit. That theater was rocking. Excited. Everybody's like ready to get in there. They're watching every single one of the Alamo Drafthouse little preview clips. Now, how do I say this? There were a lot more black people in the theater than there normally are for a premiere night at the Alamo Drafthouse. That was probably the easiest way to say it. I guess I was going to try and come up with like a really weird metaphor or something. But I guess I should just come out there and say there was a lot of black people. A lot more than Rogue One. More than Doctor Strange, for example. It's just something you notice. Just something that you notice. On a scale to describe the racial makeup of that theater, I would describe it to you as the Wrinkle in Time trailer got a standing ovation, specifically when Oprah came on. And the Ready Player One trailer got crickets. There was nobody. The Black Panther audience had no interest in Ready Player One. I was like, yeah, that seems like a lot of the shit that I'm not into. Cool. The Iron Giant, awesome. See, Fitzshiv's like, in Georgia, there's a bunch of women at Wonder Woman. Yeah, but there's always a lot of women going to see these movies. There's always a tremendous representation of women. Oh, not always. A lot of black people at a premiere night at the Alamo Drafthouse. I'm saying it might be kind of a white people activity. I'm not here to make the rules. I'm literally just trying to explain my experience. Two ladies that sat next to us were my favorite part of the experience. They were great. I love them. They would probably tell their friends that there was a white couple sitting next to them and the guy was drunk. And that would be true. I will explain. I will explain to you. I mean, look. All right. I'm going to take a pause here just because this is still going on in the chat. TVC Egon says the Alamo Drafthouse, the official movie theater of white people rich. You're not wrong. Yes. No. The theater with the higher ticket price and to your seat seating, to your seat service is not the theater of white people rich. All right, moving on. I love these two ladies. They were great. I don't think that they had been. No, I know that they had never been to an Alamo Drafthouse before, because the way it works at the Drafthouse is you order by putting a little piece of paper in the little rail, and so the server will see the little pieces of paper sticking up, pick them up, check it, ask you any questions, get your order. But they got to explain to you how that works. So the guy comes over to us, gives the spiel. We're like, oh, we're old hands. I want a popcorn. I want a beer. She wants a gin and tonic. There we go. The two ladies sitting next to us, they had a hard time finding their seats because they're assigned seats at the Alamo Drafthouse, which is something that you wouldn't necessarily know if you had never gone there before. Sit down. Very excited for the movie, as we all are. Same server comes over to them. Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to the Alamo Drafthouse. Have you ever been here before? Pregnant pause. At which point, the lady sitting next to me fixes her gaze at poor Dave and says, "You fucking with us?" I don't know if I've ever laughed harder at a theater. I don't know if I've ever sat in a theater and laughed harder than I did right there. It was one of the funniest things to watch Dave's face. It was one of the funniest things that I have ever seen. And for the record, I don't know if my tone and inflection does it justice, because what I believe she was saying is like the "are you with us" version of "are you fucking with us?" Not like "are you trying to hoodwink us?" "Are you trying to fuck with us?" Or "are you fucking with us?" And Dave just kind of responds with this like very in the Dave Chappelle killing them softly parlance. It was just zippity doo dah, bye bye. So he explains the rules, and he does his thing, and that's it. My popcorn comes, and I am feeling like this is indeed a party. And so the lady next to me notices, "Oh my God, that looks like good popcorn. Do they have good popcorn here?" And I'm like, "Well, why don't you try some?" She tries the popcorn and says, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it is." And then I'm like, I have this thought. Hey, you want to know what? Ashley is a vegan, so she can't eat the popcorn. What do you say, you and your friend, you guys just grab out of this? I'll just keep it over here. If you want it and you want to bring it over to her, you take it, bring it over to her. Share the popcorn. I'm not going to eat all this popcorn. It's a gigantic tub of popcorn. They are very excited. They're very much enjoying the popcorn. There may or may not have been a vape pen going around at that point as well. So now we're sharing popcorn. It's Black Panther Night. Everybody's very, very excited. And it's at that moment that something that has never, ever, ever, ever happened to me at a theater happened right there, making Black Panther Night that much more magical. The lady next to me, asked me a question I had never heard during the previews. Y'all want shots? What? Y'all want shots? Do I want shots? Do I want shots now? Yeah. I'm going to buy shots. You shared the popcorn. I want to buy shots. You can. This is my inner monologue. I knew that you could drink in this theater. I have never once in my life thought you can buy shots in this movie theater, let alone movie theater, especially the Alamo Drafthouse. They have a very strict no talking, no texting policy. You cannot at all ever make friends, right? You're not like, oh my God, great joke in the first act, like putting your arm around somebody. Now we're friends. Shots for the group. Say yes. I'd like a shot. What kind of shots do you like? Anything you want. Okay. Now, I think Dave had gotten wind of us and knew that we'd been drinking. Because despite the fact that shot order went in right before the movie started, those shots did not show up until very late into the movie. But God damn it, did they not show up? And all of a sudden, I had 2 shots in front of me. One for me, one for Ashley. Now, Ashley, who's smarter than me, realized that she was plenty drunk. Did not need more drinks. In fact, she was going to forgo this shot gift that had been sent to her by our seatmates. And so she very cleverly concealed her shot underneath like a few other, like put it like Russian nesting doll style. So like the little shot went in her rocks glass that she picked up and put inside the popcorn bucket that had been emptied at that point. I took my shot. And then, around the time that spoiler happens to spoiler in the movie, in the third act, I undid Ashley's little trap. I took her shot and I put it in my tummy tum-tum so I could smuggle it back to Oakland. Because, folks, it was Black Panther Night and it was a time for celebration. Now, I mentioned before that the only thing that bummed me out is that I crossed the bay, and there are 2 reasons for it. I'm going to give you a very minor spoiler for Black Panther. It is literally one of the first shots in the movie, but there is a title card which shows a scene in Oakland in the early 90s. I would have loved to have been in Oakland when that title card came up, because there was an eruption in San Francisco. I feel like the walls would have shaken if I had seen that title card for the first time in Oakland. And also because of this, closest theater to my house is the Grand Lake Theater. It is right down Grand. It is a famous theater. It's got a big old sign that's one of the most iconic elements of Oakland. I love it. It's fantastic. It was one of the elements that charmed me into the neighborhood that I have made my home for the past several years. Apparently, somebody who also holds that theater very, very dear because he went to movies there when he was but a child is the director of Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. And 10 o'clock that night, probably when we would have gone to see the movie, guess who showed up at my local goddamn theater? Ryan motherfucking Coogler. Killing me, Coogler. But you want to know what? All can be forgiven because it was indeed Black Panther Night. I asked you guys last week to please send in. Oh, yeah. And then the Friday hype train was really short because I was hungover as shit the next day. So, like, look, it was a celebration and I had to pay for it. It was either free shots or Coogler. It was the hangover hype train. I asked y'all last week to send me dating trends. Either just names for dating trends or actual dating trends themselves. And man, did you guys come through. I got a bunch of them, and I've got some notes. I've got some notes for you guys. If you guys want to keep sending them, I will continue to read them, and we'll figure something out. First one that came in, dude just wrote foreskinning. Don't know what it is. That's up to you. I'm giving you a name. So foreskinning, what I would say about foreskinning, the newest dating trend is foreskinning. That's when it appears like somebody is somebody, and then they peel back to reveal their true self. Someone you know has almost certainly been foreskinned. Now, I made that one up. The rest of these were written in full. Windows Vista-ing was also a suggestion. Your date crashes around you and is unrecoverable only for the reason of fuck you. That's why. Now, this one I think might be a little bit of an acquired taste. I don't know if all the normies around the world that are just trying to swipe right and left on Tinder exactly know the horrors that was Windows Vista. But I do like this idea, like a dating trend. I mean, again, really the dating trends are all behavioral, so they're not necessarily things that are happening on dates. So maybe if I were to adjust this, I'm going to note it just a little bit, that Windows Vista-ing is when your person who you're seeing all of a sudden goes away and is totally unresponsive. So Windows Vista-ing is basically like the new ghosting. See where I'm coming? See where I'm coming? All right, here we go. The next suggestion was Guthrum. All right. I think you guys are going to start to get a little trend here. So let me just point this out. A lot of y'all were writing some shit that was way too specific. It's got to be general. We're talking general. Something that your mom would understand, right? We can't be coming with Guthrum, which the emailer here even wrote who Guthrum was. Guthruming is the act. Guthrum was a Danish military leader in 878. Come on, man. Who fought with Alfred the Great of Saxon. Instead of taking him hostage after defeating him, Alfred instead asked Guthrum to be baptized and become his godfather. Guthruming The dating trend is during sexual intercourse, a man shoves a Danish, such as a cheese sandwich or a strawberry Danish, into the girl's mouth, submerges her underwater, and then forces her to sign documents making him her godfather. All the teens are doing it. You want to know what? I'm sorry. I take that back. That one's great. That one's for real. Here's another one. Carded. Have you ever been on a date at a grocery store doing some shopping with your new piece, paid for her groceries, and never heard from them again? Well, you may well have been carded. Being carded, or carding, sneakily cheating your way into free groceries, is a new dating trend we here at metro.co.uk have come up with for those who have had their wallet totally taken advantage of by dates looking for nothing more than free groceries. Oh, man, these hoes ain't loyal. They're out for groceries. Gotta eat the booty like groceries. Ooh. How about lesbaiting? Lesbaiting. When a man seeks out two sexually confused women and lures them under the pretense of a date into meeting each other, so that the man can then spy on them and masturbate from a prearranged vantage point. So he's like a weird like Serial de Bergerac or whatever. Except he's finding heightened vantage points so we can jack it. All right, guys, I need to keep this going. You need to keep sending me dating trends. Send me either names for ideas for dating trends. Send me your own dating trends. If you're digging on this, we will keep doing this dating trend thing for as long as anybody else wants to do it, because I think this shit is fucking hilarious. Is it Cyrano de Bergerac? Did I say Cereal de Bergerac? I bet you Cereal de Bergerac would be delicious. Probably be full of cinnamon. All right, this one came in. Our Discord is bit.ly/JuRY Discord. If you're unfamiliar with what a Discord is, it's just a place where you can hang out with people who like the show and talk to them and share links and ideas and hopes and dreams and thoughts. It's a community thing. I think you'll really enjoy it if you like the show. But one of the most prolific people on our JuRY Discord is Open Bayou. Open Bayou, always so good at posting awesome stories for PX3 and posting awesome stories for JuRY. He put this in here. This was from last year. It's from BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed's Thirsty Thursday newsletter will make your day so much better. Quench that thirst, it says. Hey there. Are you having a hard day? Do you need a little pick-me-up? And then there's a gif of a really cute boy. Well, we think subscribing to BuzzFeed's Thirsty Thursday newsletter will put you in a much better mood. Oh, here's another gif of a cute boy. What's this newsletter, you ask? Well, the gist is simple. Every Thursday, we send you a picture of a smoking hot guy directly to your inbox. Oh, hey, wait a minute. This is an Instagram of a really cute boy with some washboard abs. You'll learn a bit about him, get a chance to drool all over your keyboard or phone, and read some of BuzzFeed's most steamy posts from the past week. Oh, apparently Taylor Miller photo is just all over this. The Instagram is all over this little thing. Here's another one of Taylor Miller photo. Another Instagram. Hot boy. BOI. Honestly, what's not to love? And trust us, it'll make your day so much better. And here's somebody named Broderick Hunter on Instagram, who is just a very fit gentleman wearing Calvin Klein underwear with a fairly off-centered bulge that is very plainly the outline to a penis. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now and let those hot guys slide right into your inbox. And here's a GIF of Ryan Gosling. So I assume that the reason that I got sent this was because if you look at the comments, there's a lot of back and forth here about the idea that, wait a minute, if there was I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's plenty of like Barstool Sports or other like sports kind of shit where it's like, hey, do you want hot babes? Do you want smoking hot babes in your inbox? Well, you'll get all the hot babes if you go to Babe Town, our new mailing list. Here, I'm just going to read this. I'm going to read this whole thing, and we'll see if it's gross. Hey, Justin Robert Young's Babe Town newsletter will make your day so much better. All aboard for Babe Town Express Train. Hey there, fellow guy. Are you having are you need babes? Hey, here's a babe for you. We think subscribing to Justin Robert Young's Babe Town newsletter will get you to Babe Town. What's in the Babe Town newsletter? Well, the gist is simple. Every Thursday, we send you a picture of a smoking hot babe who's almost certainly in a town. You'll learn a little bit more about her, get a chance to drool all over your phone or keyboard or chicken wings, and read some of Justin Robert Young's most steamy posts about babes and cities and towns. Honestly, what's not to love? And trust us, it'll make your day so much more town. Babe in it. Babe, pig in the city, too. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up now and let those hot babes get to town. Go to town on your babe. You're playing Civ 5 and you just built Babe Town, baby. Enter your email address to sign up now. Now, see, that sounded gross. That sounded like a gross newsletter that you would be like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? But if it's cute boys, it's a different thing. And I'm here to say, you want to know what? It's probably fine. You know? Like, I think even the idea of, like, hot ladies would probably be better if women had more jobs in media. You know, if there was like gender parity, or at least representative gender parity in media, then I kind of feel like having the Babe Town newsletter would be okay. But that's the problem. The problem with the Babe Town version of it is just, it's like, wait, for real? Like, I can't like hire ladies, but you can make the Babe Town letter? No, you can't actually sign up for the Babe Town newsletter. Actually, yes, you can. You can sign up for the Babe Town newsletter by going to tinyletter.com/Justin Robert Young. That's where you sign up for the Babe Town newsletter. But you can always get your emails read right here on the show. Go ahead and do it by sending in sending your email to justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Put JuRY in the subject line so I know what the hot hell you're talking about. Dr. Whiskey wrote in and said, in regards to why Golden Corral has not gotten back to you about your Singles Day idea, I think I might know why. I think that they are more interested in the UFC crowd than the hang and bang singles that you're thinking of. See, I grew up in Southeast Missouri. so I still follow the news there like you do in Florida. I'm sure recently security cameras caught a manager physically assaulting an employee. Then a parody Facebook of the city of Cape Girardeau posted that the Golden Corral was going to host a UFC event, essentially making fun of the incident. So Golden Corral seems to have their hands full with a bit of PR issues at the moment, so maybe the singles idea would help. Love the shows. Keep eating that booty. Is that how we sign off emails now on the show? I wasn't aware that we were signing off on all emails with keep eating that booty. I don't think that that's comfortable. That's a weird thing to say to somebody. But that being said, hey, listen, Golden Corral, get at me. We need to make Singles Day happen. Oh, I never got to talking about Breakup Amnesty Day, did I? Man, now I'm gun shy. I'm gun shy after that. I'm gun shy after that. That comedy album debacle from last week. In fact, that's what I would say to fucking old mouthy 25-year-old me who's yelling at me for not going to midnight movies anymore. You're a homophobe on your comedy album. Shame, shame, shame. That's what I would do. Oh, man. I just felt really good thinking of a way to own 25-year-old me. Oh, Void King says ham-horned has to be a dating trend now. That's a pretty good one. Somebody write in a ham-horned one. Warcow writes, writing to respond to your guilt and self-loathing over your comedy set from college. As someone who has lived in Texas my entire life and had people use that word against me my entire life, I can say that my opinion of you has not changed in one bit since hearing it. My reasoning is this. First, there was no malice in your original usage. If anything, it was calling out the use of it against others. Secondarily, you are genuinely hurt by the fact that you used it. Everyone makes mistakes, and 13 years is a long time when talking about a single human life. And the person who said it then is now not the person who sits behind the microphone. It is an incomplete picture, a shadow of the person to come. And to be honest, you handled that subject more tactfully than my high school guidance counselor did when I came out. He literally thought that saying that somebody might pretend to like me so that they could kill me was an appropriate thing to say to a child in 9th grade. That was the day that the Texas gay marriage ban was being voted on. Needless to say, we never went to him for anything again after that. Well, thank you, Warcow. I don't necessarily think that well, let me just say first and without reservation, I do appreciate any kind of kind words, specifically on that subject. It does really make me uncomfortable that I was so lazy that I couldn't listen to that and at least prepare people for it. I am always proud to be honest in front of you guys. I got a couple of text messages from my buddy, one of my old friends, Anthony from high school, just texted me because he had not heard the Friday Hype Train and just heard me talk about it on JuRY. And I just get an email that, or a text message just says, "You got an N-word tape floating around?" No, not that. So in case anybody's curious or was not clear after the last week's show, I said the F slur that refers to gay people as part of a comedy act, a poor comedy act that I did back when I was a kid in college. Anonymous Diamond says, last week I decided to try out this exciting new trend of robo-copping. So I opened up my Bitcoin wallet and sent $1 worth of Bitcoin to my most recent ex. A few minutes later, I realized that it failed because she wouldn't know who sent it to her since I don't associate my name with this wallet. So I went to PayPal and sent $1 to a different ex and waited. 3 days later, she emailed me back to my personal email that I've had for years asking why I sent her $1 with the note, "I'd buy that for $1" attached. I panicked and just replied, "New phone, who dis?" and clicked send, knowing full well she knew it was me. Needless to say, I'm glad she lives in Japan these days while I'm still in New Orleans, so I won't stumble into her accidentally. Anybody who fucking RoboCops their ex will always get their story read on this show. No matter what, you will skip the line. You will be read and given the reverence that you so richly deserve. Please keep RoboCopping your exes. If you don't know what RoboCopping is, it's when you randomly send $1 to your ex. You Venmo, PayPal, $1 to your ex, and don't answer. Whatever you do, you don't have to answer. I just want to hear what people respond. I'm Morpheus writes, I was commuting across town one day when I was confronted with an uncomfortable realization. I was mentally chubbing up over a woman who was probably in her mid-50s and dowdy as fuck. You see, I'd been eavesdropping and liked the thrust of her argument and how her mind worked. Am I Siler from Heroes? I don't know. Is that... Man, it's been too long since I watched Heroes. I don't remember Siler being like, oh, I like old women. He goes on. Further food for thought related to altered carbon. How important would our physical form and appearance be if we could pop in and out of our bodies / sleeves? If you're unfamiliar with Altered Carbon, it's this show on Netflix. If you can accept the idea that Altered Carbon is not very, although rich, is not deep, you will love Altered Carbon. If you're like, oh, like, cool, it's dealing with this idea of like people who switch bodies because they're like mega rich and mega poor and like there's different things. If you can understand that it's not going to be like super deep, then you're going to love it. It's very much a pulp science fiction, like cute Ray guy and the Mars men of Spacetown, like something like that. It's good. It's fun watching. There's a lot of titties and quite a few dicks. But I'm Morpheus asks, how important would our physical form and appearance be if we could pop in and out of bodies and sleeves? I mean, probably just an exaggerated version of it is now, right? Rich people are able to look prettier. They're able to have just, time on their hands so they can work out. They have a budget to plan out appropriate food. They can have surgery if they want. They can hire personal trainers. Poor people don't, in general, have that. Not to say there aren't cute poor people. Not to say that there ain't ugly rich people. Plenty of both. But in general, you can probably look better if you're richer. And in this Altered Carbon world, you can look really good. Personal questions. What do you see in Ash, and what does Ash see in you? I think Ashley might have just walked in the door right on time at 5 o'clock, so maybe we can get her in here to answer that. What I see in Ash? Ambition, excitement, beauty. She's the best. My soulmate. That's what I see in Ash. Ashley's just corrected me. Doctor's the best. She's not the best. Doctor is the best. I don't know. Maybe Ashley will come in here before we wrap up. Adam writes, to what are you referring to when you say fired from his dream job? I have absolutely no idea, and it bugs me to no end. Thanks. That is a politics meme. It's in reference to James Comey, who wrote about how he was fired, and when he was giving his testimony, he kept leaning into the phrase fired, and so it became the meme where he was fired from his dream job, just over and enunciating every little bit of it. So that's, if you've ever heard me say, man, everything starts to bleed together at a certain point, so I start using memes from different shows. on different shows. But that's where the fired from his dream job comes from. Ash, you want to talk on the stream? Because we're about to wrap it up. Okay.
What do you want?
I was just asking what you saw in me. Just make a joke.
I'm not funny, though. That's the problem. He's attractive. And see, here's where I got to be careful.
Why?
Like, I can't say too many
Why?
things because you have an ego. And if I say, like, he's attractive and he's funny and, like, banging, like, I can't say all that because it'll just get to your head. So,
But if you were going to say it, like, just for laughs.
if I were in the chair,
If you were going to say it, like, just, I mean, I know you can't, but if you were, what
you're
would it sound
kind and caring and super hot.
like? And that about wraps it up for this week. Jay Pinkerton says, and I saw a chance to move to California. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up for this edition of the program. If you want to email the show, go ahead and do it. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Put JuRY in the subject line. Thank you to the Spinto Band and to the Possum Posse for our music. Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Justin R. Young. Join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com. Go ahead and get your stickers and merch at stickersordIAF.com. Hey, friends. 6 tickets left. Let me check. I'm going to refresh, see if anybody bought one. 5 tickets left. 5 tickets left for the show. You got to get them now or they're going to be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your old pal, Justin Robert Young, telling you to please don't. Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.